Okay. So it is still some validation mode. Let it see. Okay. Okay. So now let us go for and show you that how we can use the XML file as a source. So let me drag and drop one more thing. Okay, one more time. Data flow task. And inside the data flow task, okay, so we have one under the source list, and very frequently used sources are, so we have one more source called XML source also is there. Means to load the data from XML files into the SQL table. So let me show you some sample data. So let us say I have some XML file as source. So let me show you how the XML file. So XML means extended markup language. Okay, the meaning of XML is extended markup language. So now let us show you some XML file data. So .xml is there. So now you can see in this XML file. So this is how the XML file will look like. Okay, so it will have one parent node. So here you can see it is starting with the catalog. This is the parent one, and this is the ending of the parent. Ending of the parent means slash will be there. And under this parent, there are three books information. Okay, so there is information about book 101, book 102, book 106, and let us consider these are next level of nodes, that is childs. Okay, so this catalog, this parent one has three childs, 1, 2, and 3, and this child nodes again having some column names like who is the author of the book, what is the title of the book, what is the type of the book, and what is the price of the book. Okay, so now I want to create a table to store these books information. I want to load this data into my table, SQL table. So how to get this data? Okay, so now what you can do is, in order to load the XML file, so we can use this under the source list. We have the XML sources there. So let me connect to this. So let me drag and drop the source. Okay, now using this XML source, okay, now you can go for locate the XML location. So browse for the XML file. So under the F drive, we have some merge folder. So let us locate the XML file. So under this, we have an XML file called merge result.xml file. Open it. So this is the merge result only, no? So it It is present in the merge and merge result.xml file. Okay, so now let me close this. Let me close the open file. Okay, now we have located the XML file, and now do you want to XSD means XML file schema definition. Schema definition is nothing but metadata information like how many columns are there and each column data type. So in a table we will have a columns and whether that is integer column, employee integer, and if it is employee name we are specifying it as varchar 20, no? So what is the data type? Metadata information. Okay, so do you want to generate a metadata information for this XML file, or if if that information is already generated, do you want to use it? Okay, if it is already generated, do you want to use it? Okay, now we can see I can go and generate the XST file. So we can go and see where in the same folder. So these are all previous ones. Now let me generate a new one. So let us say 6.xst. Now I want to store the metadata information in this file, XST file, XML schema definition. Schema definition is nothing but metadata information about the XML file. Okay, so now go to the columns. Okay, click on OK. Now you can see these are all the columns coming from the XML file. We have book ID, book author, title, genre, price. No, so now it is showing us those columns. Now my XML file is ready. XML source data is ready here, ready now. Okay, so just what I want to do, I want to insert this source, insert the XML data into the SQL table. No, now let us just go and put the data in the destination. That's it. Okay, so I'm putting the XML file data into the SQL table. So let us specify in which database. Let it be DBBrook. Now into which table? Let me create a new. So here you can see these are all the columns generated. Okay, now let me give some table name. Let us say table underscore XML underscore output, like this. Click on OK. So now we can go to the mappings, map your XML file and the output file. That's it. Okay, like this you can do. Okay, so now you can go and execute this. So let it So now you can go and see. So we are able to pass the three records into the destination. So now you can go and check the table. Okay, so under the dbbook, so let me go for, so let us go and write select star from table underscore, so xml underscore output. So now you can see we are able to push the three books information into my SQL table like this. Okay, so like this we can push the XML file data into the SQL tables. Okay, so this is about the data flow task. Okay, so now let me close it. So if anybody wants this, okay, so somehow I will try to share the solution. Okay, or if you get me the pen drives, okay, I can share it also. So now let me go for so this is about the data flow tasks. Okay, now let us come back to the control flow section. We are in the control flow section. Now let us continue with the next one, that is execute SQL task. Okay, let us continue with the next section, that is next task, that is execute SQL task. So let me go and create a new package. Okay, and let me rename it as execute SQL task. Okay. So what is this execute SQL task will do is we can execute any SQL queries. Okay, whatever the queries you want to execute, any type of SQL query we can execute. We can execute select statement, insert statement, update statement. We can execute a store procedure. Okay, whatnot. Anything we can execute under this task. Now let us see. So if you want to create a table, you can go and create a table. We can execute the create table. Okay, so I'm just giving the name as create table, and here we can see we have one option called connection. So under which database you want to execute. Okay, you want to create a table. So I want to create a table in my our project database, let us say dbbook. So let me create a connection to the dbbook here. Okay, or you don't want to reuse that connection, or you don't want to, so already in the data flow in this package, so we have a connection already is there. So we have a connection is already created to the dbbook. You just want to make it as a, you just want to reuse it in the second package. I don't want to create it multiple times. I can go and make this if I want to reuse it in the second package. So I can make this connection as project connection. I can make this connection as project connection, means now the connection is specific to this package. So specific to this data flow package, now the connection is scope is limited to the current package. I want to expand the scope to all the packages. So let it convert to project connection. So instead of you creating multiple times, we can create one time and make it as a project connection so that we can reuse it. Now you can see it is coming in the execute SQL task package also. So now you don't need to create the connection and again. So that will be automatically displayed here. Okay, we can reuse this like this. Now you want to create a table under this dbbook, no? So let us go and write a create table command. So table underscore emp. Okay, so let us give some names, sample. Okay, let us give some column names. So create table, table name, integer, and employee name, varchar, Okay, comma sum age as integer. So now you can go and see, if you want to see the full query, you can go and view like this also. Okay, so that's it. So I'm creating a query. Okay, I'm creating a create table command and create table task. Let me click on this. Okay, what it will do, it will just go and create a table in that particular dbgroup database. If I go and execute this, so let us see what is the error. So it seems the table is already present in the database. So let me give some new table name. Let us say table sample 3. Click on OK. So let me execute. It seems the table is already present in the dbgroup. So now we can go and see. So whether the table is created or not. Okay. So select a star from table underscore emp underscore sample 3. So now you can see it has created a table with the 3 columns. Okay. And you want to insert the data into this table. Then again we can go and use this execute SQL task. Okay. So what it will do is it will insert the data. Okay. So where is your table is present under the dbgroup. Okay, and you want to write some insert query, no? So insert into table underscore emp underscore sample 3 some values. So this is the insert query. So we have 3 columns: employee ID, employee name, and integer, no? So let me have employee ID 1 and let me have Krishna employee name, and let us say some age. You can write like this. Okay, so we can write the insert command also. Okay, now you can go and see. If I want to execute this, I can go and execute this. So now you can go and see. So we are able to insert the data into this table also. Now you can go and see whether the record is got inserted or not. Yes, it is inserted. Okay, so now I want to read the data. I want to write a select query here. So is that possible? Yes, that is also possible. So we are writing the create command, insert command. Now we are want to read the table data. I want to read the table data. Just to give some description. And your table is present in which database? And the dbgroup database. And what is the query you want to do? I want to write the select statement. Select a star from table emp sample 3. Okay, select a star from table emp sample 3. So now when you execute this query, how many rows are getting resulted? Only one record, no? So here we can see we are getting the result set. We have an option called result set option is there. Okay, so for since we are getting only the single record, so you can see we have to specify the result set contains single row. Okay, for select statements, how many rows we are getting? So we are getting a single row, no? We can go and specify like this. Okay, so here we have single row and full result set. So since we are getting only one record, we can have to select this as single row. Okay, and this statement will read the data for us. Okay, let us say your requirement is you need to read the data from this database and you want to insert into any other table, any other database table. Okay, your requirement is you need to read the data from source database, and let us say your destination database is db underscore Abhishek. Okay, so you want to read the data into this table from this table, and you want to insert the data into db Abhishek database. Let me go and see. So let me create a table here. So I'm creating a table in the where I'm creating in the Abhishek DB Abhishek database. Now my requirement is I need to read the data from this table which is present in dbBrook, and I want to load it into this table. I want to insert the data into this table. So now you can see, is there any record present in this table? No, there is no record. Okay, and I want to insert the data into this table. Now this query, okay, will read the data, and I have just specified a single row. Okay, we are getting a single row, and now we can see that we can go to the result set option here. Since we are getting a single row, okay, I can go and use the result set now, and we are getting three columns now. I want to store the first column data. Okay, I want to store the first column data. Okay, what is your first column name? Employed, your first column name is employed. I want to store the first column data, that is this is my employed column. Okay, I want to store the first column data into one of the variable. Let me create a new variable. So let us specify variable underscore empid. Okay, and are you getting a numeric value or a string value? We are getting the integer values now. Let it make it as integer value, and let us give some default default value as 0. Let us give some default value as 0. Okay, now we are getting one more column name, that is emp name. Now let me go for it. Now let me go for, since it is a case sensitive, I made it as small I here. Here it is I is small, and we know that SSIS is case sensitive, no? So here also I have made it as small I. And second column name is E is capital, remaining are all same, EMP name. Now let me add, I want to get the second column data. What is your second column name? That is EMP name, and I want to store it into one of the variable. Let me store the data into one of the variable. Let me create a new variable. So let us say v underscore name or v underscore emp name, and it is of string data type. Employee names will be of string data type. No, let it be string. Okay, and I want to retrieve one more column, that is age data. So whatever the age value, we'll retrieve the age value, and I want to store it in. So my column name is age, and I want to store that age value into one of the variable called. So let us create a variable within a v underscore age, and it is of string data, integer data type. Now let us make it as integer, and let us give some default value as 0. Okay, so what I'm doing is, so I'm writing a select query, and this select query is giving me a single record, and those values, those column values, I want to store in the three variables, so that when I'm inserting the data into this table, no, so my requirement is I need to read the data from this table and insert into this table, no? So I can use the variables to insert the data into these columns. Why I'm storing the data in the variable is, from now onwards I can use these variables while inserting the data into the second database table. Okay, so I'm reading the data from the dbBrook table. Okay, read the data in the dbBrook. Okay, database table. Now what I want to do is I want to insert this. Okay, after reading it, I want to insert this into the insert into db Abhishek. Okay, database table. Okay, now here in the first of all, let us go and specify into which database you want to insert. db Abhishek, the connection is already there, I can reuse it. Now to which table? What is your table name? My table name is this one, table underscore Abhi underscore emp. Let us go and write here insert into, okay, table Abhi. Okay, and what values? I don't know what values are coming from the first one. Okay, from the first task, I don't know what values are coming. I should not hard code, no? Then specify question marks. Question mark, comma, question mark, comma, question mark. So why three question marks means this table contains only three columns. So since you don't know which values you want to insert, then specify question marks. Insert into table Abhi values question mark. So for these question marks, from where you will get the data? So in the first one, we are storing the column data in the variables. No, whatever the data present in the variables, I need to insert into these question marks. Okay, then go to the parameter mapping. So which values you want to push into those question marks? Whatever the values we are storing in the variables. No, so then go to the parameter mapping section, click on add. So first column name is employee ID. So that value is coming in which variable? So you can go and see. We are able to see the variable name empid. Okay, so the value present in this variable, I want to put it into the first question mark. Now let us go on. First of all, let me add the list of variables. So for the second column, we are getting the data from variable employee name. And for the third column, we are getting the data from the variable age. All are these are input? Yes, these are all input parameters. Now variable employee is of data type. Which data type? So integer data type. No, so we can select either integer or long or numeric, all are same. So either we can make it as a long or a numeric, okay, or you can go for integer also. Everything is same. Okay, so let it be long. And employee name, it is of varchar data type. No, you can go and see we have one varchar data type. Let us specify it as varchar. Age information, yes, that is also integer, so let it be long. Now what is this parameter name is, we have to specify the position. So this variable data, so we have three columns, so that value, this variable employee data, you want to push it for first question mark. No, so in this table, what is the position of employee column? First question mark. Employee name second, and age is third. No, so we have to specify the position here. So this value, to which question mark you want to pass? For the first question mark. No, then go and specify it as the position starts with the 0. So this value I want to pass it for first question mark, and employee name I want to pass it for second question mark, and age value I want to pass it for third question mark, like this. Okay, so we have three variables, and we have three question marks, and we are specifying the which variable data is for which question mark. That's it. And the last one is parameter size. So what is the, whether it is long is okay. Varchar means varchar 20 or 30 or 40. Okay, minus 1 means max. So how much big is the name, it will take it if you put it as -1. Okay, or if you want to go and change it as 30 or 20, varchar 20 or varchar 30, your wish. Okay, better to make it as minus, better to leave it as -1 only. So that's it. So what we are doing is we want to insert the data into the TB Abhishek table. So we don't know which values, so that's why we have specified question marks. Why three question mark means my destination table contains three question marks, and for these question marks, how will you pass the values is go to the parameter section, and those question marks we are passing through the variables now. So let us specify the variable name and their data types and their position like this. Okay, so we are reading the data from this table. First of all, we are reading the data, and since it is giving me the single row output, we have specified the single row, and we have specified each column data. We are putting in particular variable names. Okay, and this column data, and we are using the variables to insert the data into the DB Abhishek table. So that's it. So now I want to execute these two as a single unit. Okay, after this it has to go and execute this one. Okay, but if I execute on this package, so every one of the package, every task of the package will try to execute. So I don't want these two to execute, I want only these two. If I execute this alone, now you can see it will just execute the task and it will stop. It won't continue to the next one. Why? Because we are just executing this task alone. So now we can see it is just executed and it is stopped. Why? Because we have asked to execute that task alone. But my requirement is after reading the data, it has to continue with this one. But if I execute on the package level, so there are two other tasks, no? So this two also will start executing. But I don't want that. I want only these two to execute separately. Then in that case, what we can do is, so we have an option called container option is there. Now let me drag and drop the sequence container and put these two, okay, put these two inside this container. Okay, I'm putting those two inside the container, and let me link those again. Okay, so now we can go and see, now we have an option to execute the container separately. Okay, now let me click on execute container, then these two will execute as a single unit. So now first one will read the data, and second one will insert that particular variable data into the SQL table. So now we can go and see in the destination table. So now we can see whatever the data present in this, we are able to insert into this Abhishek database table. Okay, like this, we can read the data from one table and we can put it into the another table. Now let me insert multiple record. This is for single record. So container to read single record. Suppose if you have multiple records, then how to read that? If you have a single record, we are specifying the result set as single row and we are specifying the column names here. Okay, but if you have multiple record, then what we can do? Okay, so let me show that one also. So let me insert some more records into our table. So already one is already there. Now let me insert, so 2 comma something like Rakesh. Okay, something like age. So let us say something like 30. Okay, now let me insert some more records. So 3 comma 4. Let us say something like Ravi, some age. Okay, something like Karthik, some age. Okay, now I'm inserting 3 more records. Now let me go and execute. I'm inserting 3 more records in the source table. Sorry. So now we can go and see my source table contains how many records? Now 3 more records are there. So now let me execute this query again. Okay, now let us go and execute this container again. Now it will let us see whether this will insert multiple records or not. So now let us go and see whether all the records got inserted or not. But you can see it has taken only first record, okay, but not all the records. So it is taking only single record. Why? Because we have specified it as single row. We have specified it as single row. Okay, so let me show you one more time. So it is taking only the first row. So let me truncate the table. Truncate means deleting the table data. Okay, so now there is no data. Okay, now let me execute it one more time. So since we are specified it as a single row, result set as a single row, always it is fetching the only one record, only first record. Now let us go and execute one more time. So this logic will work for only first single record. Okay, now we can see it is reading only first record. But I want to push all the records, but this table contains 4 records. Okay, then how we can push all these 4 records into the next table, into the destination table is, so go and see if you have multiple records, how to push it, how to read the multiple records and how push it into this. Now in the execute SQL task, so let us say reading multiple records. Let us give the description as reading multiple records. Now what is your source table where it is present under the DBBrook database, and let us write select star from table underscore emp sample3. Okay, so this will give us the multiple records. So if I execute this query, so this is giving me the multiple record set now. Then result set, go to the result set, specify it as full result set, not a single result set, not a single record. Now we are getting full result set. Okay, then if you are selecting this full result set, then go to the result set. Now click on add. Now make the result name as 0. So since you are getting multiple records, okay, I am not specifying the column names. I am giving the result name as 0 and will capture the entire data into one of the variable called, let us say, v underscore table. Now you can see I am creating a variable called v underscore table and I am capturing the entire table data as a table object. Okay, so I'm storing all the data, all the 4 records data into this table object. So I'm getting entire table data. If it is 100 records or 200, I'm getting the entire table data and storing in this variable called v underscore table, and whose data type is object variable. Okay, so that's it. So if this query is giving me the single row, I will select it as single row. But if this query is giving us the multiple rows, then selecting it as full result set and storing in a table object. That's it. Okay. Now our duty is, okay, to read the data from the table one by one record and put it in the destination table. That's it. So to read the data from the table and to read the data from the table one by one, okay, so we have to loop. So here, in order to loop, I'm using the for each loop container. Okay, so I will pass this entire table data to the like in SQL we have while loop or we have cursor, no, like that. Here in SSIS we have, for looping purpose, we have one container called for each loop container. Okay, I will pass the table data as input to this for each loop container, and here what I can do is the container collection, since your source data is coming from a table, so I will select it as source type as ADO enumerator. ADO means active database object. Means if your input data is coming from an object variable, I have selected it as ADO enumerator. Means I'm telling that my source data is coming from an object variable, active database object. Okay, and in which variable your source data is coming? In this V table. What it will do is it will read the data, it will read the rows data from the table, and now you can see that it will go and read the entire table data and each column data. Okay, we are getting the this data in the variable employed, employee column, no. Okay, so I will store the first column data. Index 0 means first column data. Okay, in the variable called v employee, and I can store the second column data in the employee name variable, and I can store the third column data in the age variable. We can reuse the variables. We can reuse the variables n number of times. Okay, we can reuse the variable n number of times. Okay, so this is the first column data, second column data, third column data. Okay, so we are just specifying that. Okay, we have selected the ADO enumerator and which table data we need to read, and each column data, 0 means first column data, second column data, third column data, I am putting into the same variable names. Okay, now what this container will do is it will connect to this table object. What the container will do is it will connect to the table object and it will push one by one record. It will loop one by one record, okay, into inside the container. Okay, so it will push one by one record. First it will push the first record, it will connect to the table object, and first it will read the first record and put it inside the container, and second record, it will, after that it will come to the second record and it will put inside the container. Okay, it will send inside the container, and inside the container what I want to do is I want to insert the data. So we have written the copy it, and inside the container what I want to do is And inside the container, what I want to do is I want to insert the data into DB Abhishek. I will execute this insert command here. Insert into table name, values, question mark. I will repeat the same. And whatever the values coming in this variable, no, I want to insert into the parameter position. First question was, second question mark, like this. So whatever I have done earlier, no, I am just inserting the data here again. Okay. So if you have multiple records, First store that object into a table object, get the entire table data and put it in a table object, and open a container. Okay, what it will do is, so since the data is coming from a object variable, I have selected it as ADO enumerator and selected the table, and it will get the each column data into three variables. And what that loop container will do is, it will send each record one by one inside, each row one by one inside, and that each row will get inserted into this database table, Abhishek destination table. That's it. Okay, it will send one by one. Okay, now we want to execute these two as a single unit, then put this inside a sequence container. Okay, now I want to execute this as a separate unit. So this will get the data, multiple records into the, okay, into this table object, and using the container, we are connecting to the table and sending one by one record inside to the container, and that each record will execute this insert command, and that each record will be inserted into the destination table like this. Okay, now we can go and see. So let me truncate the table again. Okay, now my destination table contains no records. Now let me go and execute this container. So first of all, it will read the data and put it in a table object. After that, the container will connect to the table object and send one by one record inside, and each record will execute that insert command one by one. Okay, so now we can go and see. All the four records got inserted. Okay, so this is how we can transfer the entire table data from one database to another database like this, using the execute SQL task. Okay, understood? Okay, just practice it. Okay, once you practice, no, it will be easy to understand. Okay, can I stop now? So in tomorrow class, we can see how we can execute the store procedures inside using the execute SQL task. Okay, can I stop now? So just practice it, okay, so that you can understand very well. Okay, and you can remember easily also. Okay, thank you guys.